Mabuhay, or in Kapmpangan, with kayo. So every now and then, I see this picture pop up on my social media. From Facebook to Tumblr, I see posts claiming that Captain Nieves Fernandez of Leyte was the only known Filipina female guerrilla leader in the Philippines back in World War II. But whenever I see this post claiming that she's the only known Filipina guerrilla leader, I'm just like, no. Because I happen to know this to be false. Kapitana Nieves Fernandez was indeed heroic, but she was not alone. In fact, from where I came from Indung Kapampangan, or what is now Central Luzon, we know of countless Kapampangan women who led guerrilla armies in World War II. So at the beginning of the war, when the United States left the Philippines practically defenseless, many women throughout the country led their people to protect their communities and resist invasion. My own Lola Feli from Pangasinan from up north, along with her two older sisters and two older brothers, were all part of the guerrilla resistance at the front lines defending the islands from Japanese invaders. So yes, it was not uncommon for women to be at the front lines of battles during World War II. There were in fact countless of women who led the fight for our liberation. And perhaps the most famous among them was Felipa Colala of Candaba, Pampanga. Also known as Dayang Dayang, she was a fearless commander that was feared by the Japanese. In fact, she successfully led a newly formed guerrilla unit that she also started and won the Battle of Mandili back in March of 1942, defeating the Imperial Japanese Army. And Dayang Dayang's victory in this battle marked a pivotal point during the war. Not only because it was led by a woman, but mostly because it proved that the guerrilla movement, a grassroots movement, was strong and able to defeat a more sophisticated invading army. And as a result, similar guerrilla units were quickly set up and organized throughout the country to resist invasion and to protect their people. Dayang Dayang and her unit would become founding members of the Hukbalahap, the Hukbong Bayan laban sa mga Hapon, or in English, literally, the People's Army against the Japanese. It was a peasant-led grassroots resistance army that was instrumental in liberating the Philippines in World War II. A grassroots guerrilla army that actively recruited women, and at its peak had thousands of women joining their ranks, not just as members or supporters, but actually active combatants in the front lines. And Dayang Dayang was not alone in this position. Collectively called by the Philippine media as the Amazonas, the Huk Army had many Guerilyeras, or female warriors, in their leadership. And just to name a few, we have Leonila Dizon, Rosa Carlos, Aurelia Calma aka Commander Auring, Leonila Monteverde aka Ningning, Filomena Divina aka Kundiman, Commander Cinderella, Commander Waling Waling, Remedios Gomez aka Commander Liwayway, Simeona Punsalan aka Commander Guerrero, and many others, each with their own unique and fascinating histories of heroism, of solidarity that has largely been forgotten in the mainstream consciousness. For example, we have Commander Liwayway of Mexico, Pampanga. She was a beauty queen who took up arms, a fierce warrior who trained soldiers. She won battles, but she will never forget to wear her red lipstick even in the middle of the fight. Commander Guerrero, on the other hand, came from a peasant family. She escaped the wrath of the invasion by going into the forest and joining the Apalit squadron of the Hukbalahap. She was also entrusted to raise the political consciousness and to boost the morale of the people during the darkest of times. And it's not like they died during the war. They lived a very long life. Commander Liwayway passed away in 2014 and Commander Guerrero passed away in 2015. But up to their last breath, both Commander Liwayway and Commander Guerrero made sure to help their comrades get the recognition and the benefits they deserve. In the decades following the war, they made sure that their sacrifices will never be forgotten and that their heroism will always be remembered. It is also worth noting that many of these fierce Kapampangan women never laid down their weapons even after the war. Instead, they continued the struggle and their commitment to protect and serve the people against the abuses of imperialism. Their legendary heroism captivated the fascination and the imagination of the Philippines in the years following the war. But sadly, it has since been largely forgotten, if not ignored, in the modern and present-day era. Nevertheless, their revolutionary legacy survives and continues to thrive. They paved the way for women in the Philippines by embracing raising their political power, unleashing their military might, by breaking gender roles imposed by Western colonialism, by remolding sexuality and fearlessly expressing complex identities. And they did all of these in ways that cannot be ignored. So, the next time you see a Pinay fighting for their rights, just take a moment and at least admire their courage and selflessness. Or better yet, listen and understand what they're fighting for. Because more often than not, they're actually fighting for everyone, including you. And that is it for me today. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, show your support and please be my patron. Takalpong salamat. See you next time, or in Tagalog, kita kits, and in Kapmpangan, mi kitiks.